Hello, this is not a spring chicken. Yes, I know. A little bit of rebel spirit always can do you a little bit of good. Oh, I guess it's kind of when you get too much rebel spirit in you. Well, it depends on who you are. Anyway, take a look. Yes, for that little bit of rebel in you. But for now, we're going to bring Oldecam on for comments on the headlines of today.
Okay. America would call this a ill-fated hike into Iran. The problem is there's fences, there's gates, there's not an unmarked border, so just exactly what were they doing over to begin with? Obama's advisors, more taxes are not ruled out. The problem is there aren't going to be taxes, they're going to be a value. I think there'll be a national sales tax, a value-added tax, but he's promising no taxes for no personal income taxes, right, is what he's parsing his words, folks. You're going to get taxed one way or the other. Value-added, national sales tax, probably both, plus personal income tax. Car production actually up. Well, not really, but if you technically count the way they do things, it is. Democrats finding rallying points on health reform. Well, yeah, the insurance companies are responsible for it. You know, it doesn't make any difference that the insurance companies aren't making a huge amount of money compared to the oil companies, water companies, or the banking organizations, and that the people actually own the insurance companies. They are the ones that are going to be destroyed. So here's a question for you. What happens when the insurance companies go bust because of Obamacare? Your grandmother, your grandfather, all those union reps, everybody that, you know, have money tied up in the funds to protect their pensions, they're all going to go down the toilet under Obamacare, but that's not really important. Military civilian terror prison eyed. Well, basically the people in Michigan don't want them, the people in Kansas don't want them, and they know they're strictly being brought here for one reason, so they can be tried under the American court system and be dumped out on the fact of lack of evidence, and then they'll be freed into this country to do whatever they want to do. Once they're gone, they say, well, we can keep track of them, and they can't keep track of prisoners in a jail cell. I mean, they escape all the time. Few hurdles for Canada smugglers to get choppered. Well, God, why? I mean, it's just not like, why? You just walk across the border. I mean, I know people, I mean, my family used to own a stretch of land that was up against the Canadian border. We'd go in and out of Canada on a daily basis. If, you know, we go chase the dogs into Canada and come back. Car rebates will stop at a Senate Act. Well, they already said the Senate doesn't even have to act because the Hood can take the money from the transportation fund, which you got from the stimulus fund, and then use that money, which, you know, basically is sort of a ridiculous thing. Anyway, they increased the total amount of cars being sold by 23,000. The people would have bought, you know, the cars anyway. They waited a week or jumped in early, and the cars that were purchased mostly weren't ahead of this. SUVs and pickup trucks, Lexus, Nexus, Mercedes-Benz, all the expensive cars, which means the people that they were trying to hit, the middle class, weren't buying them. It was the people that had the tons of money that could get the financing. Henry Louis Gates malls moving over death threats. Well, because you got to keep this thing going. You know, basically there's idiots on both sides of the issue, but there's probably more idiots on the left because this wouldn't have happened except for Obama. Housing market stabilizes, many areas recovering. I go all over the country, folks. There are more for sale sign up today than there was yesterday, and there'll be more up tomorrow than there are today, but that's stabilization because what happens is banks repurchase homes that are in foreclosure, and then if therefore it looks like the homes have been sold when they actually haven't been sold. U.S. Marshals see sanitizer for bacteria problem. I love hand sanitizer. It's supposed to be bacteria free, and it's got bacteria. That's about how things work, isn't it? The king salmon vanished. King salmon. I know we just can't bite a teeth over the internet either. King salmon vanished in Alaska. Smokehouse is empty. Well, they think that what happened is not as much as the fact there might be overfishing, is that the currents have changed and the salmon are going elsewhere now rather than coming back to where they were before. So now you have to go find where in the world the salmon are at. Of course, they also do think that that another fishing industry is killing the salmon by overfishing its area and killing breeding salmon on the way back also. New HIV strain discovered in a woman from Canada. Well, yeah. Basically, things mutate. If you don't, that's what makes some things like common cold hard to cure because they continually change the way they are. Study finds rise of student injuries in gym class. So now they have to have one excuse or another to get rid of the gym program. Too many people being injured. Well, I'm talking 60 years ago. I mean, I busted my butt you know, in a gym class. And I do remember that. And you know what they said when I hit the ring on the horse in the gym class? They said, "Get off your butt and do it again." But that's the difference between today and this world. Obama walked Russia and Georgia tightrope. Well, he's got to dump the Georgians for the Russian, and instantly, you know, as fast as you flip a coin, he would dump the Georgians, because if they're allied, okay, let's put it this way, if they're allies of the United States, you basically just write yourself off. Pension repayment plan could throw LA's budget in disarray. Well, yeah, because these pensions have got to be repaid unless they declare bankruptcy, and then they dump it on the federal government. Conservatives seek trials for Iran bloodshed. Well, yeah, because they got to, you know, most of this stuff isn't going on in Iran unless it's being done with support of the state to begin with. So they got to have a dog and pony show there, like we have over here with George Bush and Cheney being threatened with going to jail every 10 seconds. Israelis rally after to murder a gay senator. Well, yeah, okay. The Muslims don't like gay people. Actually, so basically what happens is they don't care. I mean, it's an interdenominational thing. They'll wipe out theirs the same as the Israelis. The U.S. weighs Iran sanctions if nuclear talks are rejected. Well, yeah, we don't do business with Iran, folks. So any sanctions we put on them is going to be totally useless. Hawaii protecting coral reefs with big fines. Well, there's not a whole lot you can do, because what has happened to begin with. You can stop it from happening now, but you can't turn the clock back and stop what happened in the past. I mean, we can shut off every piece of power equipment and automobile in the world. It's not going to make any difference what it started. What you have to do is figure out a way of undoing what was done that isn't going to make things worse. PBS chief welcomes public funding under Obama. Well, the problem is they're already having public funding problems. I understand some of the things are really, you know, they really went to the left on some of the programming that and some of the things want to be carried for public broadcasting, which basically is going to just feed into the people onto the right. Nissan rolls out electric car in New Hampshire. It doesn't go anywhere, costs too much money, and that doesn't count. Nobody cares. More ads coming to TV, even to one-time havens where there weren't ads. Well, because here's a good one. You can't sell the ads for what you can't sell the ads you have for what you need to pay for keeping the programs on. So what you do is you find new places to put ads where ads weren't before, which basically further ticks off people. Ticket price increase at Walt Disney World. Well, yeah, that's another way. You know, people aren't coming in, so let's increase the prices to help keep people out, because the money from Disney actually comes from what they're selling in the store, because the national currency of the Disney organization is $20. I mean, you buy anything over there, you're busting a $20 bill for a meal or a toy. Or Ford deposed U.S. sales gain of Conquer Cash Boys industry. No, they sold Ford increased by about it increased by about 20,000 cars sold over the same period of last month. But but they were actually down from the year before. So, they said, when you increase your car sales by about 20,000, you really didn't sell enough cars to make it worth all the advertising you're putting into it. So you don't have to pay for help avoiding foreclosure. That's right, because actually there's a lot of organizations that will help you through this thing. Public organizations, and but people don't help them. Because not all baby bottles are safe. Well, actually, unless it's a glass bottle, they basically write it off as not being safe anymore. We have basically China gains the manufacturers their friction among the Pacific. Well, yeah, because they undercut everybody, so that does that. But we have a money button walk between the animal kingdom. It's not as easy to get into shape as people think it is. Just ask not a spring chicken.